got to get to our best games of the NFL in week 10. And Josh, I got to tell you, I did not get to 5 games this week. This may be the most abysmal calendar the NFL has ever put out for its week 10 slate. I really only got to 4 games, them being the Browns and the Ravens, the Niners and the Jags, the Texans and the Bengals, and the Lions at the Chargers. I do not see any other game really. Maybe Denver, Buffalo, Denver get back on track. I doubt it. Don't get me started on Vikings Saints. I really don't want to watch the Saints, who needed 5 turnovers off Tyson Bagent to barely beat the Bears. They're not good, and they're going to somehow win the worst division maybe in the history of football. Like we have a lot of bad quarterback play. It's mostly in the NFC, which we knew going into the year, and I told you this was going to balance itself out. But I'm excited to see CJ Stroud against Joe Burrow. I'm excited to see Jared Goff and the Lions out there probably torture Brandon Staley in that Chargers secondary. I want to see how Kevin Stefanski and Deshaun Watson and the Browns figure out if they can beat Baltimore. And obviously, I want to see how San Francisco and Jacksonville both do, both coming off their buys. But this is a brutal week for the NFL schedule-wise.
I know. Like, you look at week 9, there was a great slate of games. We had Miami, Kansas City, Seattle, Baltimore. At least we thought that was going to be a great game going into it. We had Buffalo, Cincinnati. So those were 4 games that, and of course, Dallas, Philadelphia. I apologize for leaving that one off. So 3 of those 4 games, I would say, hit the mark. Of course, Seattle, Baltimore did not. But, yeah, I look at this slate of games for week 10. I would say 49ers, Jaguars is probably number 1 for me this week. Because both teams are coming off of their bye. We both agree that San Francisco is a really good team, and they're going to figure it out. And Jacksonville looks like they're starting to put it together offensively with Trevor Lawrence, and they're playing really well. So that's a really intriguing game for me. I would say Browns Ravens is number 2, because maybe the Browns can close the gap on the Ravens in the AFC North. We'll see. But you look at the matchup historically, the Browns defense cannot stop Lamar Jackson.
That and the Browns offense actually struggled for most of the game against Arizona. The fact they played Quayton Tune is what made that game interesting.
Yes. That's why I'm not reading too much into that Arizona game. Like, the Cardinals are 1-7. They were playing a rookie quarterback, whoop-de frickin' do.
I'll tell you what, Kyler Murray against Taylor Heineke this week, everybody. Can't wait. Bryce Young against Tyson Bagent for the battle of the number 1 pick, which the Bears have both picks. Can't wait.
Yay! So I would go 49ers, Jags, Browns, Ravens. I agree with you about Texans, Bengals. I guess Lions, Chargers, but I mean, that game doesn't do a whole lot for me.
See, I think that has the potential to be a shootout, and I want to see how Staley coaches late. I think that is a late game because we talked about it for the last 2 weeks. Brandon Staley's job was on the line. If he wants a Tyson Bagent or Zach Wilson, he was getting fired. Let's see if he can pull one off at home against the Lions coming off a bye. That'd be a big win for the Chargers.
It would be. You're right. I agree with you about Saints, Vikings. Like, Josh Dobbs, it's a nice story, but I still don't think the Vikings are like a legit playoff contender.
See, I'll push back on that because of their schedule. Do you see who they're playing coming up? It's all bad teams. It's literally all bad teams. Chicago, Green Bay, Denver. Like, they have a chance to roll into Detroit week 16 for a battle for the NFC North. they have a chance here to almost run the table.
Yeah. Following this New Orleans game, they've got Denver, Chicago, Vegas, Cincinnati, Detroit at home, Green Bay at home, and then close the season at Detroit.
Like prior to those 2 Lions games that are the 2 out of the last 3 weeks, outside of Cincinnati, all those other games are winnable. Minnesota's got a chance to go on a streak here.
Yes, but their chances definitely took a nosedive when they lost Kirk Cousins.
Oh, I agree. But the Saints are going to win the NFC South because that's the worst division in football history.
Oh, good God, yes.
But nonetheless, I think we both agree there's not a lot to pick here for Week 10.